We are following continuing coverage of breaking news from Oconto Falls this morning. A fire broke out around 7 last night at St. Anthony Parish School on North Franklin Street. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the school does have extensive damage, as you can see. We've learned this morning that Ash Wednesday services will go on at the church. They start at 8:30 this morning. Angela Kelly has been talking to members of the community and joins us now with the fire chief. Good morning, Ange.
Hi, good morning, Rachel. A lot of people on their morning walks, on their way to work, kind of slowing down, stopping in front of St. Anthony's School and Parish here. And, just wondering, how do we go forward from here? Really, the only evidence of a fire from the outside seems to be this yellow caution tape that surrounds the building. But I do want to introduce you to Oconto Falls Fire Chief Tim Magnan. Thanks for meeting us out here this morning.
No problem.
I know it was a late night for these guys out here till like 10 o'clock, huh?
Yeah, we were out here till around 10 o'clock. We got called out just before 7 o'clock for possible smoke. Actually, one of the residents near the area here tried putting the fire out, gained entry through these side doors right here, and then thought he had it out. But when we got here, we pulled up coming down Franklin Street. We noticed that there was smoke showing from the front side of the building, the A side of the building, which we call the front of the building, and then we proceeded through here because the police department was already here. Said the smoke was coming here and had a door open for us. And within minutes, we had black billowing smoke coming out of these back doors already. And by the time we gained entry, we noticed we had a pretty extensive fire at that point. And then within probably 10 minutes of that time, it already had burned through a couple of the skylights. So you had visible flames shooting up over 10 feet through the skylights already. So we know we had a working structure fire at that time and called for more help. So.
Do we have any idea of what the cause may be?
Not at this point. We just kind of know some of the origin of the fire happened just before these 2 stories, and it worked its way down the hallways and some of the classrooms more on the east side of the building. So right now we called the state fire marshal in last night. They're going to be here sometime before noon today, and we're going to continue our investigation, try to find out the origin and cause of the fire. So.
Can you describe what it looks like in there, down that hallway of classrooms?
Yeah, when you walk in these 2 doors where we gain entry, there's a lot of soot-colored walls and charred patterns on some of the walls above the locker areas. The ceiling tiles are all burnt down, and so all your steel structures are all exposed. So the wiring's all burnt out, and everything's pretty much black. And you work your way down the hallways as you keep going toward the south. You'll see some of the rooms that very little damage at all, just smoke damage. And then some of the rooms where there's actually some fire that was actually gained entry through the doorways and got in there and did some damage. So it's all black and charred.
In your experience, do you think that this is repairable, or is this too early to tell yet?
I would think it's probably repairable. I mean, it's going to depend on how structurally sound some of those cross members are, steel structure are in the building. And they'll be checking those things too down the road once we get a little further into the investigation. But I think most of the damage now is basically down the hallways and in a couple classrooms and some of the roof damage.
Mm-hmm. Now, Chief Magnan is a lifelong resident of Oconto Falls, and you actually went to school here. You know how big of a part of this community this school is. What kind of an impact do you think this is going to have?
Well, it's an impact definitely on the school just because it's been here for ever since I remember being here. So I went here like in 3rd grade for a while. That's when they had the elementary part of they were sharing classrooms here. So I went here in 3rd grade in the early 70s. So I mean, it's just something that I know the layout of the building. I inspect the building. So it's devastating to see something like this happen, to a good thing. You don't see many of these schools left anymore, and it's a good thing for the community. We hope that we can keep things going. So,
Thank you so much for meeting us out here. So many people affected by this. I did speak with the school custodian who had stopped by. He wasn't comfortable going on camera, but if you think of how many people this affects, he maybe doesn't have a job for a while. I mean, not for sure, but so many people are in limbo waiting to see what happens here. And of course, students will not be having classes here today. But we're going to be talking with the principal a little later this morning to see what's in store for students and staff.
Yeah, I know you feel like the chief does too, because that was your school when you were growing up.
This was my school growing up. I attended 2nd through 4th grade here and have a lot of memories in this building and know a lot of the people growing up. In fact, the fire chief himself, I knew him since I was a little girl, so it's kind of surreal to be here reporting on this, but wish all the best to this community.
Yeah, the community will pull together and do what they can, I'm sure, to help that school
Yeah.
recover. Thanks, Angela. Angela Kelly live in O'Connell Falls this morning.